Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night, it's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
A guest star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin to lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good morning, evening, or maybe even night time if you're around Singapore, or if you've got a Santa hat covering the entirety of your face.
What?
Yeah, welcome back to round 7 here at PSGL. Alex, mate, sort yourself out.
I think this Santa has malfunctioned.
It's because you was trying to be Santa last week, mate. It doesn't work.
Wait, hang on. My hair.
Welcome back to the land of the living.
Look at my hair. This is amazing. I should do it. I'm gonna keep it like this for the rest of the stream.
Okay. Hell.
I'm not.
But nevertheless, we are here for round 7 of season 35, and it's around Singapore. Now, the second I saw this one on the calendar, my heart sank just a little bit. I despise this circuit with every bone in my body. Driving, watching, racing, I hate it. But
I love it.
yeah, I was about to say, there's some drivers out there which really do like the circuit. Some of them slightly more mentally deranged than others. Not looking at my co-com, but of course we do have myself and of course the one and only Alex Heron, aka Santa Paws.
Santa Paws.
Yes,
I like that.
You got a dog in you.
Woof.
Right, swiftly moving on, we do have the driver standings here as well.
What's wrong with me today?
Where we can see Lillian, part of the Alpine race clutch family, being on a bit of a tear. I mean, 4 podiums on the trot, looking to make it 5 around here. 11 points back is Leoland, who's now got that full-time seat, and then you've also got the fellow Ferrari driver of Camille, who, you know, had such a great start to the season, but it slowly started to fade off. But, you know, considering Monza was perhaps maybe one of the off chances where stuff didn't necessarily go right in the slightest. Obviously had the incident, unfortunate, but that's not the end of it. We know what they're capable of. We know Camille can bounce back, and we know Camille's, well, for a lack of a better term, got the dog in him.
Yeah, I'm not going to woof this time.
Thank you.
So yeah, talk about Leo. He hasn't been on the podium for 2 races, but he has finished 4th in both of those races. Like, the man is consistent. He keeps scoring points and scoring good points at that. Again, if he can work on his qualifying, he should easily be possibly clear of the title right now. Like, he should have a lot more points than he does if he could just better his qualifying standards a bit.
Yeah, a bit like Yuki Tsunoda, but with actual talent is how I would describe Leoland.
Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda, but with talent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Yuki.
Yeah.
He watches.
I know you're a little Yuki simp at heart, but of course
I'm not.
Yes, you are. And of course, we do have a constructor standings here as well, where Alpine seem to have stretched their legs a little bit, but because of the way the points work here as well, there is a chance for Ferrari to slowly start building up that bit of momentum and being able to catch back up. So it'll be very interesting to sort of see how everything's going to unfold around this circuit, because of course it was the first night race in F1 history. So
yes,
to keep me awake for it, I've got a lovely little pot of coffee. I wish this was soil. It is actually coffee, and it smells very strong with the lid on. So,
and if Ferrari win today, Josh has promised he will down that coffee.
No, I will take a spoonful. If one of the Ferrari cars wins right here on stream, I'll take a spoonful of that coffee and eat it.
I have a gingerbread man because it's Christmas.
It's not Christmas yet.
It's Christmas next week.
11 days. Actually,
no, it's not next week. It's the week after.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on a Monday.
You need to calm down, buddy.
I'm just excited.
Calm down. We've got this one to go through first, and then of course we do have the winter break as well. But then after winter break, we'll be coming right back at you with some brilliant tracks. A lot more of my sort of style of tracks. We've got Spain, Miami, Great Britain, and also Bahrain as well. So that should be a little bit of good fun. Definitely something I would prefer compared to, you know, the horrible technicalities of Singapore. For me, it was just something I could never really wrap my head around. It's something I always used to struggle with. It's something that I just don't feel comfortable racing around, especially since that change as well. I didn't like it after they changed it from the Singapore Sling, and now this new change as well. It really just messes with me. It's not something I'm used to, and it's not something I'm necessarily familiar with.
Yeah, the Singapore Sling was interesting. I never got to race on it, unfortunately. I think I would have loved it because I'm a masochist. But it's one of those things that it just sort of retired more people than it actually, you know, helped. To be honest with you, you couldn't overtake through there. To be honest, the new corner they added, you can't really overtake through there either. But we've got the also a whole new final section, which is basically taking out the going under the underpass. And you basically just have a straight line into the braking zone and then through the final corners. It's reduced the lap times around here massively. But as you said, I prefer the old circuit. I still love Singapore. It's still brilliant. A personal favourite of mine, because I honestly think the best thing you could do in Formula One is when you hook up that lap. If you could hook up that one lap around a circuit, that's when you're feeling top notch. That's why Charles Leclerc does it every week, because he's not going to win the races. But he likes to he likes to put on a solid performance in qualifying and get that perfect lap. There's no such thing as a perfect lap, but you can get near perfect at a track like this, like Lewis Hamilton did in 2018.
Yeah, well, talking about near perfect, we've got Igo coming in saying, "Alex, I love your eyebrows."
Who doesn't, mate? Who doesn't?
I mean,
This is the I call these the thick boys.
The thick boys. Heard it here first, chat. But we do have the drivers out on the laps. We've got Yane here in the Aston Martin. Now, Yane's been a bit of an odd one. Shown that they've had the pace on numerous accounts of it, but never really was able to transfer it into, you know, the necessary results that you would potentially expect them to be able to pull out. Quite on the contrary, could potentially be Lillian, right? Qualifies a little bit further in the pack. Not necessarily always on pole. Had a recent uptake in performance in the qualifyings, but always finds himself with that tremendous race pace, which is, you know, it comes seemingly out of nowhere.
It does. It really does. Camille has retired from the session, so the Ferraris getting one pole is already out the window.
So it's the chances of him getting a win
are
rapidly
slim.
decreasing. I won't need to eat coffee. I'll be all right.
He won't need to eat a mouthful of coffee, which he did promise to do off stream. You just didn't hear it.
I just said it on stream as well.
Well, technically, actually, you said off stream that you'd eat the whole thing, but you know, you go back on your promises.
Whoa!
You know, I mean,
whoa.
If it's a Ferrari 1-2, he'll do the whole thing.
If we're going by that, are we also going to mention that I said I'd have the contents of the tub and you would eat the tub as well? Are we going to bring that one into it?
I'll eat the tub.
Okay, lovely.
I'll do it.
We'll get that one planned. Keep an eye out for PSGL social media.
Just,
Which, of course, if you're not following us, feel free to go along. Follow us on social media, come join the Discord, come get involved in the community. It's absolutely fantastic seeing these drivers here. It's fantastic watching the other splits as well. Come have a go, if you think you're quick enough, because I'm most certainly not, but, you know...
I might be.
Depends if they force you to go on the hard tyre. But someone here who seems quick enough so far is Lillian. It's looking like quite a tidy lap. That car didn't seem, you know, like it was struggling for grip through any part of the track, and already on a 127.6.
That's a cracker. It's not even Christmas. Oh, but Jane put even a bigger cracker in. It's 27.5.
I just hope that the jokes coming out of the crackers aren't going to be yours, mate. As Kai Pearson as well ends up coming up to the top. And both these Red Bulls are reserve drivers here, so, you know,
I was going to say,
realistically, they've got nothing to lose. They're just out here to make a show for us all.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Red Bull winning last time out in Monza. It was it Thomas? Was it Thomas won in Monza? I think he did, didn't he? And Tony Roche finishing second in that race, if we all remember correctly. Another yellow flag flying at the moment. Leo Lund has put a lap time in, by the way, but it's only good enough for 10th fastest. It's 6/10 slower than pole position. Once again, the lap time's not really falling for Leo Lund, and Rahards looks like he's right on the edge of this lap. It's so good to see these cars go around here, because they are inches away from the wall. If we had an AWS thing, it says how close they be to the wall. It'd be 0.000 meters.
I think it would say 2 meters because we know AWS isn't always the most reliable. But Rehard's here.
He said it, folks. He said it.
Yep, shoot me down. But Rehard's here. It looks like he's trying to find the absolute extremities. And we've noticed this about Rehard so far this season, haven't we? He doesn't leave anything on the table. He doesn't sort of do banker laps. He doesn't take it easy. He doesn't necessarily control his pace too well. He goes absolutely full gunning for it, trying to get any sort of, track time he can, regardless of where he is on the track, regardless of position he's fighting for. He's more than willing to absolutely gun it. And, it reminds me a little bit of, I know it was a bit before your time when you started watching F1, but Juan Pablo Montoya. It's fantastic to watch. He'll very happily put balls to the ball and absolutely go for it.
I've seen Mr. Pablo. He's done a good job. He didn't see Michael Schumacher that time, or Michael Schumacher didn't see him.
That was at Imola. We don't need to talk about it. We're at Singapore.
Did Patton? I was going to say, did Pablo ever race Singapore, but he probably didn't, did he?
No, he absolutely did not. He was long gone by then. He had enough. But someone else who might be having...
He was done by 2005, yeah.
Yeah, someone else who might be having enough is Lefted, though. That lap time had a little bit of Alfa Romeo to keep him company going through that final section, which kind of put him going through the fabled turns 16 and 17. I don't want to say it's another horrible complex of corners, but I feel like my bias is already starting to show.
Yeah, it's when we have tracks. It's when we have tracks that we don't like. So there's tracks that I don't like Hungary, and there's tracks that Josh doesn't like, which is Singapore. But then we have a certain tracks that we both don't like, and
like
maybe
Singapore.
Well, I was gonna say there is maybe one left on the calendar that we both really don't like racing on, or watching. If you know what the one I'm talking about, Josh. It may come towards the end of the calendar.
Is it by chance the very end of the calendar here?
It may be the final race on the calendar.
It might very well be the final race. And if you missed our little calendar segment, feel free to join the Discord and have a little peep at the calendar yourself so you can kind of keep in the loop of what Alex is trying to refer to here. Meanwhile, looking on track right now, we've got Kai at the top. Both are Red Bull, still 1-2. Yane still third. Lillian fourth. Rehard's fifth. Oscar and Andres, both McLarens in 6th and 7th.
Yeah, both McLarens up there. The obviously surprise qualifying at the moment. Mr. Leo Lund down in 13th. But is that really a surprise anymore? Because we know he doesn't really perform in the first part of qualifying. He's coming out for another lap here. Tony Richet, 17th. Not done a lap time yet. Going to get one on the board. Matthew Adler also without a lap time on the board. Mrs. Levenkovic, who I got to say, put in a star-making performance in Monza, along with his teammate, Mr. Bogdan.
Absolutely, yeah, both the Mercedes cars driving the wheels off of it. But we do come to Singapore. Despite the changes, it's still a very different circuit to Monza. You do have a couple extra straights here, and it's a lot less, demanding on the tyres because of the changes. But these fast, complex corners here, when you're taking it at full race speed with a little bit of dirty air, pushing it through as well,
yeah,
it's not the most comfortable thing to drive on.
No, and it's also bumpy because obviously it's a street circuit. This is a street you can actually drive on in Singapore. Obviously, the walls won't be there when you drive there.
Tell you what, I've got a lovely story as well.
Oh, do you? Tell us.
Yeah, my mate and his girlfriend went out to the Philippines, I believe, over the summer break.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a little tour around Asia. And they ended up in Singapore, unbeknownst to my friend's girlfriend. At the same time the Grand Prix was on. Was not planned, wink.
Was definitely not planned.
So he ended up getting to go and watch a little bit from the side of the road. Didn't have to book a ticket. He was able just to peer through the fence. And I feel like that's something that street circuits, they've got something there.
Yeah. I think street circuits like that should have that all the time. Vegas. What? Sorry. But I mean, I think that's the glory of it. As Andreas unfortunately validates turn one. That's a tricky turn one. Turn one, of course, you want to try and take up as much of that curb on the inside as possible. Basically, make it a straight line. Because if you go in a straight line, Josh, you lose less time than you do when you're going into a corner.
Thank you, all, Buxton. But no, another interesting fact about said friend. He was there for all of Carlos Sainz's F1 victories. He's physically attended all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
So that's
2.
Silverstone 20.
Yeah, I was there with him for that one. That was fantastic. And
Was that 21 or 22?
21.
No, it wasn't. It was 22.
Was it? Yeah, it was 22. My bad. I can't count. I'm getting old. My word.
And it was Singapore 23, the only non-Red Bull win in the entirety of 2023.
So
which Josh treasures forever.
Absolutely. I mean, no one can be perfect, and I feel like this season was a perfect example of it.
Yep, it could have been 18 in a row. Oh, what a record that would have been if Max had won.
That would have hurt.
It would have done. It would have done for sure. But something we should mention about this circuit as well, another interesting fact about Singapore, is weather always seems to play a big factor in this Grand Prix because that was so close there from from Reese. He crosses the line. It's going to be a good lap time. Puts him onto the front row.
It's not bad at all. And,
that's a cracker.
Believe it or not, I can just see these Red Bulls improving again as Kai Pearson ends up tipping it just a little bit. I believe that is going to be Jack Adler coming across the line directly behind him as well. We've got the other Ferrari left in the session crossing the line now. How far is Leo going to move up? He moves up into 7th. JS, Stevo, looks like he's on an absolute tear and manages to find 2 tenths on his previous lap time to put him into provisional pole. But yeah, you do mention the weather. It's a bit crazy, and the fact you've got all the highways going over the top of a circuit causes so many different parts of a track to, stay dry or drier than the rest of it. It's certainly a challenge for a lot of these drivers to necessarily try and figure out what the best tyre compounds could be.
It could be an interesting race. If we get some rain, could always spice it up. Rain always spices up a Grand Prix. I don't think I've ever watched a boring wet race that I can think of. Spa 21 doesn't count.
I've watched one of your wet races and it put me to sleep.
That's true, but I'm very cautious driver. That's a lie.
See, for that turn 1-2 complex run, he was suggesting to take a straight line. He doesn't even brake going into turn 3. Animal.
No, don't even need to. What are brakes for? They just slow you down. That's the thing.
That is that is what they're meant to do.
As Jeremy Clarkson once said, speed has never killed anyone. Suddenly stopping, that's what gets you. That's what gets you. So just don't brake.
Going on a wicked tangent here.
What do you mean? We're not doing that. But no. Lillian, 11th right now.
So far.
This is so far. I know. Obviously, another lap time is coming, but the Red Bulls have come out of nowhere. Obviously, Red Bull famously are fast around this track. I know this year isn't a great example of that, but famously, this was one of the circuits they were super quick around compared to, say, like a Mercedes or a Ferrari.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something as well. I just really want to keep an eye out for is we've got the Vroom drivers currently in P2 and P3. We did E-Series last night here at PSGL. Didn't necessarily have the best showing, but they're definitely making up for it here in F3.
Well, they know you're here, Josh. I know you there. I know you were there yesterday.
God,
but
what can I say?
They got to try and impress you.
Technically, it was Josh Birch there yesterday.
Josh Birch.
Yes, the alter ego. No, it was a commentator. He had a couple internet issues, so I had to hop in for him. But yeah, I was officially Josh Birch for 2 hours.
Nice. That is, yeah. It's crazy that someone has the same first name as you, because Josh is a very unusual name, like Alex.
I agree, Alex. It's
yeah.
I can't think of a single Alex. I can't even think of a single Alex in Formula 1.
No, there's never been one. Actually, no, it's not Alex. It's Alexander. It's a different name.
Lillian,
though. It's not good enough for pole, but it is the front row.
Yeah, so far, will Lillian... Surely Lillian's got enough time to absolutely whack it around the circuit and get back in for a new set of softs, surely.
3 minutes 50 on the clock. It's a long out lap around here. Rahards is pitted. He's going to go again. Leo is coming out for his last lap of qualifying, 14th at the moment. Of course, this track, as we've mentioned before, very tricky to overtake around this circuit. Pole has won this track 97 times out of the 100 times we've raced it.
Sorry, did you just say we've raced around Singapore 100 times?
Yeah.
Alex.
It's a fact. Look it up.
I'll tell you what. I'll do one better. I'll go and ask Jeeves, ChatGPT, how many times
Yeah.
has F1 raced around Singapore? I was about
Well,
to say Silverstone.
That would be 100. But on an actual serious note, Pole does win out here a lot.
Yes.
Like it's a track that Pole has won on quite a few times. Lewis won from 5th on the grid once in 2017 after the Ferraris and Max Verstappen went on for a little trip into turn 1.
Yep. Thank you for reminding me of that one.
Do you block that from your memory?
Yeah, I did. I absolutely blocked off Kimi Räikkönen and Sebastian Vettel touching front wings going down start finish straight. That wasn't something I was planning to see on my wish list. But we do have the one and only Nathan Richards in chat as well.
Hi, Nathan.
Showing his support for good old Rehards. Currently 5/10 off the pace. Not sitting pretty, but with enough time to get another lap done. We know the track evolution around here is just as strong as ever.
Oh,
we
Bogdan.
got Bogdan disqualified for parking in a dangerous location.
That means a lobby reset.
Maybe.
Probably. I don't know. It might not.
Unless it was a PC crash, then perhaps.
It might be.
We
Well,
saw
Andreas-
it last night as well.
Oh!
I feel like I just cursed him by swapping the camera.
He's done a large stroll.
I cursed him by swapping to him. I tell you.
I assume
Well,
that's got to be a wheel disconnect. That's not a. Was a. Well.
I'm not sure what to take from it. Surely, hopefully, we'll be able to get someone in the chat to tell us what's happening.
Oh my god, that's got to be a wheel disconnect. So surely, I've not seen that crash before.
Tony Roche, illegal blocking, 5th place. So we will be getting this lobby restart, which gives us all the more time to talk about our favourite track, Alex.
Yes.
No.
Bahrain. Oh, what? No.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
As we can
Spoilers.
see, the traditional Ferrari now, not the one covered in white paint. Handling the streets of Singapore. It took me a while for me to recognise the black is back. I kind of got a bit too comfortable with that white looking Ferrari.
I like the white livery Ferrari. I think it would have. I think they would have gone. They should have gone all white with it and only red tinges.
I don't know.
It might have looked nice, but it might have looked a bit odd. But anyway, just want to let you know a bit of an interesting fact as well.
Oh dear.
Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari took his last victory around this circuit in 2019. He's also only taken pole around this circuit in odd-numbered years.
Are you trying to make me cry?
No.
Because you're doing a good job of it. I won't lie. We've got Igor clarifying, end up just kissing the wall, apparently going for that final corner, and it's the slightest of margins which will catch you out around a street circuit as
Leo.
As Leo makes
He doesn't improve.
a slight improvement of 0.002. Now I know fine margins are a thing, but how fine can they really be? As we do have Lillian still in the pits.
Jack went 5th.
Tell you what, let's hop over to Matthew Adler. Another one of those performances we saw before.
Wow.
Up into 6th. We're going to see these lap times keep crawling further and further down. JS State abandons his lap, calls it back in the pits.
Who's going to beat him?
I mean,
Can the Aston Martin? There's too wide. No, it's not. It's pole. It's provisional pole.
Reese, behave yourself, young man. Phenomenal lap time. We've got Timo Zelenkovic as well coming across the line. Is that Ivan Santamaria I can see back there as well? Is he on a flyer?
Yeah. He's invalidated, but Kai couldn't improve either. He stays 4th. He can't go any faster, so it's now down to Tony Roche, who's currently 10th on the grid as it stands. He's going to look to improve. Oscar Villacampos crosses the line, only goes 10th fastest. Who's coming across the line next is Tony Roche in the background, and he slides it through into 7th. Is Rahad still on a flying lap?
Yes.
If he is still on a flying lap. He can still improve from 14th. 2 tenths up. He's got a bit deep. No, he's actually perfectly. He's definitely kissed the wall. 1 corner to go. He's going to slide it through the left-hander, and he crosses the line. It's only 10th on the grid. And that's it. That's qualifying over for everyone.
Unless Jack Humphries just pulls out an absolute worldie there in 6th place. Doesn't look like it. We've got the RS light flashing.
And Leo, I assume, has abandoned his lap as well? Yeah, I would assume he's abandoned his lap. So that means we have an Aston Martin on pole from a Red Bull from an Alpine. Wow. That's the top 3 I probably wouldn't have expected. But a great lap from Jack Humphries, in 6th place, and in the AlphaTauri in 5th. Wow.
Is it? You know, I feel like the reserves. Bless you, bless you.
Sorry, I've got a bad cough. I was trying to fix it before
Well,
commentary.
what are you gonna do? Gargle salt water. But yes, as Nathan Richards has correctly pointed out in the chat, we do have the 3 reserves currently sitting P1, P2, and P4, taking a fight to Lillian. The likes of Alexander Dimas, Jack Humphreys, Tony Roche as well. It's not been a bad result for the drivers who are currently filling in today.
Yeah, no, it's looked good for them, that's for sure. But we now have a race. We have 36 laps to go. But, Josh,
Yes.
if you want to enjoy a 36-lap Grand Prix around the streets of Singapore, do you know the best way you can enjoy it?
I've got a hint of what you might be saying. But I'm gonna make a wise gander here.
Yeah,
Is it a GTA Maker gaming chair?
it's exactly what it is.
No, I didn't. What do you mean? I didn't.
The ad ended. It was sitting on a black screen.
Yeah, I was relaxing in the GTO Mega chair. It was so
Oh,
comfortable.
sorry.
I almost fell asleep. But we
Yeah.
are back. We will have that lobby restart as mentioned. But, you know, sending Alex off to try and find some festive facts, let's say.
Festive. You want festive facts?
Yeah, festive facts about Singapore Grand Prix.
Oh, I was going to
Because
get
for
Christmas
me,
facts on. But...
A highlight of the Singapore Grand Prix was Crashgate.
Oh god, that's a festive thing to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, that was in 2009. It involved the Renault Formula One team.
Who were the drivers again?
The 2 drivers were Nelson Piquet Jr.
Yes.
And Fernando Per Alonso.
I've heard of him before.
Yes.
Isn't he the one who lost to a rookie Lewis Hamilton?
Yeah, apparently so. I've heard this rumor going around. He's also apparently he deserves more than 2 world championships. I've heard as well. Do you know who he beat for those 2 world championships?
Sorry, I was just inhaling a bit of coke there.
Some copium.
Yes.
Yeah. So in 2009, Fernando Alonso qualified outside of the top 10. He qualified 14th on that day. And this was in the days where refueling was necessary as well in Formula One. And it was weird because Renault pitted Alonso early in the race, as back in the day, you couldn't pit when a safety car came out. Renault found that out to their advantage in the the German, the Hockenheim Grand Prix, where Nelson Piquet Jr. was leading ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and Nelson Piquet Jr. finished second that day because it's Nelson Piquet Jr. And
Whoa, put a bit of respect on the name, please.
I respect.
He wasn't half
should I say that? It wasn't bad. So Fernando Alonso pitted, and then suddenly Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed into the wall, causing a safety car. No one else could pit, but Fernando Alonso had already pitted. So when everyone dived into the pits, everyone went crazy. Felipe Massa drove a fuel hose down the pit lane, which he claims lost him the world title. And then Fernando Alonso went on to win that race. And it turns out that it appeared that Renault had told Nelson Piquet Jr. to crash into the wall to cause the safety car. But the drivers were handed immunity as they said they didn't know anything about the plans at the time, even though surely they must have done because someone must have told Nelson, put it into a wall, mate.
Well, unless it was a happy little accident, but you know,
Yeah, he practiced on the formation lap. Dude
It was
spun on the formation lap
limit
like he was
testing.
going towards the wall. Yeah, sure he was.
It's a good job we don't have refueling here at PSGL, isn't it? It's a good job they got rid of it entirely. I feel like at some points in time it helps with, more of a diverse strategy.
Yeah.
When you have Toyota putting 4 laps of fuel in just to nick a pole position away to limit Schumacher's record, it adds a little stain on, the balance. I mean, yeah, points aren't won on Saturday, but one of those things. It's come see, come sa.
Do you know who has the most victories around Singapore, Josh?
I would hazard a guess that it would be Lewis Hamilton.
It's not. It's Sebastian Vettel.
Okay. Are they not
He
equal?
has. No, Sebastian Vettel has 5 victories around Singapore.
Okay.
2011, 12, 13, 15, and 19.
How many does Lewis have?
Lewis has 2009, 2014, 2017, and 2018.
Interesting. So what you're saying here is that
Wait a
Red
second,
Bull
wait.
Ferrari... Oh dear, he's just found a stat wrong on his little spreadsheet.
When was Crashgate? 2009?
I believe so.
Or was it 2000? No, it can't have been 2008 because Lewis was... Oh, it was 2008.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry, yeah. Fernando
Yeah,
won in 2008. That's when Crashgate was. Sorry, my fact was wrong, not the website.
Shame.
But sorry, my facts
Honestly,
list I have written down. not the website.
Imagine writing down your facts incorrectly.
And Fernando's won it twice, 2008 and 2010. Nico Rosberg won it in 2016.
The only person to beat Lewis Hamilton around Singapore in
equal machinery.
The GOAT.
The go. And also, your friend Sergio Perez has a victory around Singapore, namely in 2022. And Carlos Sainz, as we mentioned, has won it in 2023.
He's a smooth operator.
Charles Leclerc has never won the Singapore Grand Prix.
Smooth operator.
It's weird that the website specifies that, isn't it? It's
Yeah, it's really weird that you're just picking apart.
He took pole there as well in 2019, and then Ferrari let Seb undercut him.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. I'm fine with that.
Um,
Fine. Right. Okay. Richie started spamming the chat because he's not a fan of me singing, apparently.
Oh really?
Yeah, I know I've got a brilliant voice, but I can guarantee you it won't get copyright struck. It's perfectly.
No, I doubt that's gonna get copyrighted.
I've just got such a poetic tone to my voice that it kind of just like dissipates off.
Now, Josh,
Yes.
the safety car has appeared at least once in every race we've ever had around Singapore.
Yes, and it wouldn't surprise me if it starts here tonight. And I see you're eager to get going, go. We did have to do a lobby restart. We're currently just waiting for the drivers to get back in the lobby. We've currently got 20 drivers? I believe we might have 20 drivers, so it might just be sorting out the grid from now. As soon as that's done and I can see them start readying up, I'll let you know and we'll get right back into the racing action because...
Are people not enjoying my facts?
Oh, Alex, they're loving your facts.
Okay.
I've
got some more, so it's fine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Did you know that that Carlos Sainz's victory in 2023 brought an end to Red Bull's 15-race winning streak, the longest of any Formula One team in history?
Considering it happened this year, yes.
But that counts. That goes back a year as well. So from Abu Dhabi 2022 to Singapore 2023, every race was won by Red Bull.
What was the constructor which beat him? Singapore 2023. I'm struggling to remember.
No, I can't remember either. Oh, I know what it was. It was Alfa Romeo.
No, but I do have a good stat.
Oh,
Back in 2018, I want to say. Yeah.
Is it about Antonio Giovinazzi?
It is about Antonio Giovinazzi.
Because that's 2019.
2019?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
Are you talking about Antonio Giovinazzi leading a race? Yes, but it's 2019.
2019.
Yep.
Oh my word.
I remember Seb overtook him.
Yeah, because Eric... It wasn't even Alfa Romeo back then, was it? It was just Sauber.
No, Alfa Romeo was 2019.
No, but when I said 2018, I think Sauber just sold part of it to Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Yeah, as mentioned to the chat, I'll let you know when we got the drivers starting to ready up. We're still waiting just a little bit to sort out the grid and solve some discrepancies. So hopefully we'll be able to...
Sorry,
kick it
carry
off.
on. Carry on your fact about Antonio Giovinazzi. I
Oh
interrupted.
yeah, he led a lap. Italian Jesus became the Messiah once again.
Yeah, he did. And it's the first Alfa Romeo driver to lead laps in Formula 1 forever, probably. That's a fact. There you go.
I want to say 62.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. I don't think Kimi ever led any laps for Alfa Romeo.
No, but he did have a great result around Interlagos P4.
He did, yeah.
Still always forgotten.
He almost finished third on that day. Could you imagine trying to get Kimi on that podium if he had finished third?
No.
He wouldn't have done it. He'd just go home. He would have been like, "What do you want me to go on a podium?" I didn't. That's not what he said.
I've moved away from Ferrari for the chance that we would get it right. I don't want to be up there. But no. So I feel like we should say as well, thank you to all the viewers who are currently still with us and still listening to us ramble on while we wait for the lobby to get going again. I can see one or two of the drivers readying up now. So we've got the host readying up as well. Rehards, bless him, lovely soul, putting up this lobby. Thank you so much for being able to accommodate for this. But we do have the countdown starting. All the drivers are being told to ready up. So it won't be long now before we end up getting into the race. And Alex, there's one thing on the tip of my tongue that I want to know. Who's winning this race? No reasoning, just one name.
Leo Lund.
Bold. You just want me to eat coffee, don't you?
Yes. It's going to be Crashgate all over again.
No, don't say that, because if it happens now, it looks like you're involved in it. Unless you
Alright, hang on. I am not involved in any Crashgate scandal that may appear at the Singapore Grand Prix 23 PSGL F3. There you go. I'm immune
Flavio.
from. I'm immune from anything.
Yeah. No, I feel.
But Josh Griffin is involved in the F3 Crashgate scandal at Singapore.
It's a good job I don't know Josh Griffin because that's not my name. But I'm fine.
That's what it says on the bottom.
No. I've got a little 4-letter thing.
Meek.
Here. Yeah,
Meek.
that's the one. Like you don't even know my name.
That's not true.
That's all right, Alex Heron. But as mentioned, we won't bother you anymore with our face. So we do have.
It's dry.
You say that. It could always start raining.
It has that possibility.
That's one thing we should know by now. But there is a chance.
It's a long old race. It's 36 laps that
one.
feels like 70.
So make sure everyone at home sitting there watching, make sure you've got a drink next to you, maybe a little snack to get you through, because it's going to be a bit of a long call, especially if we end up having a couple of VSCs or safety cars, which, to be completely and brutally honest with you, I am expecting, because of the nature of Singapore, taking nothing away from the drivers. I do feel like it'll just be one of those Singapore moments where someone's not going to realise where another car is, they're going to go 3 wide, and it's just going to cause a collision.
Any debris is also likely to cause safety cars, just because of the nature of the circuit. It's a very thin circuit. Marshals have to run onto the circuit. Nico Rosberg almost ran one over in 2016, the year he beat Lewis Hamilton in equal machinery. But anyway, here we go. 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix in F3, and we're underway. And it's a good start from the front too, as we race down into turn 1. It's the Aston Martin who leads the Red Bull, who leads the Alpine, as Lillian tries to make a move on the Red Bull driver. Great start from the Aston Martin, the pole sitter. And we are racing through turns 1, 2, and 3 now, down the long back straight. A lot of movement through the mid-pack and lower pack at the back. For the Ferraris, it's been an awful start. Both of them, 20th and 19th. Josh will not be eating coffee at this rate.
Did you just say low pack at the back?
A low pack at the back.
Because I cannot believe it's not butter the way Risa has been able to get off the start line and create a gap already to JSA. But Lillian's certainly not one to let go of that little gap, as we can see. Alfa Romeo, even Santa Maria, we know he's a very talented driver, and we know he's going to be absolutely pushing the likes of Yarne, Oscar Villacampa and Bogdan all the way through this field as Rihards there makes a stellar move in the sector 2. And it looks like he's been able to get both Mercedes there through the one sector. We might have a bit of a problem as the Mercedes come to blows. It's 2016 all over again. Who would have thought about it? In equal machinery, the Mercedes hit each other.
Oh, Slavenkovic and Bogdan. Oh, that's where you don't want to make a pass on the bridge section. Of course, we saw Felipe Massa getting past someone through there. Crofty says it all the time when we go racing around this circuit many years ago. But goodness me, that just not ended right. Luckily, the Mercedes front wheel didn't pop off. It just lost his front wing, but both Mercedes into the pits on lap 1 and a few other cars joining them. Camille is up to 11th now on soft tyres.
It's the power of the soft tyres, I'm telling you.
I've always said.
Red tyres on a red car, you'll go really, really quick. That's what Lightning McQueen told me. But Camille here going to be looking to make the absolute utmost of that softest compound of tyre, trying to get every last, millimetre of that tyre used until it's basically running on treads at this point, because the rest of the drivers are on the hard compound tyre. They'll be at a pace disadvantage as we see Wilson now using the extra traction he's got to get that overtake sorted critically before the DRS even turns on.
Yeah, exactly. DRS obviously not enabled until 3 laps after the start of the race, and down the inside goes Camille. It's a tricky place to get an overtake done. He has got the grip on the soft tyres. Can he get past Rahard in the bridge section? Of course, Massa got past a driver here. We obviously saw Bogdan try and get past another driver here in the race and his teammate, and it didn't end well. But Rahard, he's just straight into the back of him. That's Camille. That's not what we need to see from Camille. It was heavy defending from Rahard, but he went straight to the back of him there, Josh.
Yeah, it's, very...
He let him pass.
Well, that's at least a good sign. It's a very clumsy move, and I think Camille knows that. Hence why Camille's given back that position. But at the meantime as well, they end up losing a position to Andres Lopez, who's no slouch to trying to take the utmost of the opportunity, but because of that soft compound tyre being able to retake that position, and will be hunting back to the rear of the Alpine car and trying to make a pass. But I feel like we should probably speak about the leaders, despite this fantastic battle going on in the mid-pack. Nothing much has changed, and Lillian's fell out of the DRS range.
Yeah, Lillian not in DRS at the moment, and might be under pressure from Kai Pearson very shortly as well. Lillian, of course, main title rival, is down in 13th right now of Leo Lund, so nothing to worry about too much there. But Lillian will want to try and carry on the podium streak, carry on the win streak, as Camille does get past Rahards on this attempt. Luckily, Camille hasn't got any front wing damage, because that was a heavy impact into the rear of Rahards. Hopefully, Rahards hasn't got any rear wing damage.
Yeah, very true, but Camille using the DRS there, using a little bit of battery in order to get past as well. Brilliant stuff so far there.
Yep, it's looking good for the Ferrari drivers after a little bit of a shaky start. Josh's coffee is waiting to be eaten if Camille does win this race. It still looks a bit far-fetched, so everyone don't get too excited. But at the moment, it's an Aston Martin who leads a Red Bull who leads an Alpine. It's the same top 3 that started this race, and they're all running on the hard tyres. They're all going to be running for quite some time, I imagine. We're going to be settling into a bit of a flow here around Singapore.
Yeah, it'll be one of those. It'll be just watching the tyres slowly lose more and more grip, and it'll be about which drivers are going to be able to adapt the quickest and realise the tyres are wearing away quicker or slower than some of the cars around them, so they can't necessarily keep taking the same sort of lines through the corners. They won't be able to keep applying the traction as early as they do. Otherwise, one of those slight mistakes and boom, in the wall, race over, job done.
Yep, and right now there is a bit of a gap between the front pack and the back pack, with Camille kind of catching Wilson Hall, who is, as I said, the cork in the bottle at the moment. He's got about 3 seconds in front of him. He can't catch people in front of him, but people behind him at the moment can't catch him either. As it stands, Wilson Hall happily just to sit in 9th place. And Leo Lund has got past Andreas Lopez and will now look to chase down Mr. Rahards for what is a 11th place. The Ferraris looking good in the early stages here.
I shouldn't have said anything about eating coffee. I'm already ruining my words. I can see a safety car coming out and changing the complex of his race. But for some of the drivers who will be waiting for a safety car, it'll be both for Mercedes and Oscar Villacampa back here as well, including Yarne, who ended up getting caught up in the collision as well. But, you know, for those, it's going to be an interesting one. It's definitely going to be a tough climb back to the field. They'll definitely need some sort of VSC safety car, anything to try and get them back in the picture of this race. Because at the minute, they're just going to have to run the run race in a train and just wait it out. And it'll feel so long, it'll feel so grueling. 31 laps around the circuit. Thankfully, it's not, you know, as long of a lap time as it was in previous years because of the changes. But it still feels so long.
Yeah, it is a ridiculously long track. It really is, and it has always created a little bit of intrigue. Maybe not the best racing in the world, but we always see a bit of intrigue. It's more of a tactical race than anything else. I wouldn't say it's like you're going to see overtakes every lap, but you're going to see tactical interest in the race. I'm interested to see what Camille will do here because he's on the soft tyre. Gone with a very different strategy to the rest of them. Is he hoping for an early safety car to get off those soft tyres?
I mean, at the minute, if Wilson Hall keeps sliding around corners like that on the mediums, he'll be glad he didn't pick the mediums. Wilson really struggling to get the traction down there before entering the DRS, so to put him vulnerable. That's why Camille's got past him. It's why Rihard's even had a little look to the outside, just trying to keep that swift line, opening up the angle for the corner and trying to maximise the traction out of it, potentially looking for a cheeky move to the inside, but it wasn't on there, but it could certainly be on heading towards this bridge section. We've seen it happen once before. Are we going to see something similar happen again?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. If there's an opportunity, Rahards will go for it. But again, the dirty air you're going to get off the back of these cars, it's so tricky to slow down. And that's probably what happened to Camille on Rahards. Obviously, no hard feelings between the two drivers. It's one of those things that happened, and he did let him back past. So that is understandable.
Absolutely. And you saw there Rahards just tapping the wall on the right-hand side before turning in for the hairpin to go towards the bridge. You know, it's one of those where you got to take a bit of risk. It's a little bit like Monaco, where you got to try and sometimes bump the barrier to go a little bit quicker. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, but being able to open it up for the hairpin will get you so much time going down that little tiny DRS straight where normally an overtake wouldn't be on. But if a car in front of you gets terrible exit, game's on and you can really start trying to make a march. Similar to what Kai Pearson's doing to Lillian right now. Caught up 2 temps in the last lap, and it looks like the Red Bull might be employing a little bit of a hammer time.
Yeah, exactly. Hammer time for the Red Bull. We normally hear that from Mercedes, but it is going for the Red Bull today. And Kai down the back straight. Not exactly making an impact at the moment. But someone, a bit of a dark horse in this race. Tony Roche, once again, up in 6th. He's about second off this pack. He's stuck behind Mr. Dimas at the moment. But if you get past Dimas, you never know. We've seen he's got pace. We've seen at Monza that he had a lot of pace. Light flashing on the back of that car from Dimas already. Is he used all his energy?
I believe he might have. He might have tried to burn it all just to try and catch back up to the cars in front. Just hoping for a bit of DRS, but you know, it's not paid dividends. And now he's looking at a very vulnerable situation, not just to the likes of Tony Roche, but to Jack Humphries and Matthew Adler, who are sitting directly behind Tony. And I'm sure if a move is made, that'll put Dimas off of, you know, the preferred racing line. Maybe a terrible exit out corner, perhaps squeezed into an apex. But that'll open the window of opportunity up for both the Williams cars to try and pick their way through and really try and make a challenge there.
Exactly. There's always opportunities to go. Obviously, it's going to be tricky for Camille right now because Camille is in 9th place. It's about 4 seconds off this pack, and DRS. If you're not inside a DRS window of the car in front, you're really going to struggle to catch up to drivers who are in the DRS window. Leo is currently tucked up behind Rahards and can't find a way past. A lot of people already relying on a safety car here at Singapore, and with gaps this big and obviously with drivers this professional, you may not see it, but Tony Roche, that must have been some straight line speed because he's up into 5th now, and now he's got the opportunity to open up his pace. And can he really disrupt the front 4 here? I'd like to see it happen, as Leo has also made his pass for Rahards, or has he? Because Leo and Rahards are going wheel to wheel. Around the outside goes Leo Lunge. You don't see a move there very often, and Rahards kind of pushes him out of the way. Nothing doing there. I'd say that is just some fair racing. Bit of rubbing and racing,
Leo
exactly.
Swerving the wheel, showing he's not best pleased with what's just happened. But we know both these drivers are hard and fair racers, and they'll be looking to push each other to the absolute limits. And when it comes to a track like Singapore, the last place you want to be is permanently on the limit of that car's potential. You want to keep it, you know, a couple centimetres away from the wall. You want to be able to have that little window of comfort just to make sure that if you do end up having a moment, the tyres go. The tyres get a little bit too warm. Perhaps the fuel has lightened its load and you get a little bit of understeer from it. So many different factors which go into really trying to hook up a lap around here in race trim. You know, it's always best just to leave a little window just in case something does go wrong, as we'll have Camille coming in on lap 6 off those soft tyres. 6 laps were enough for Camille.
Yep, proving once again how bad you know your tyre wear is around this circuit. It's pretty horrendous, and I'm interested to see why. He's gone for those soft tyres. He's pitted onto the mediums, so I assume by that standards, then he's going to go medium.
I mean, other than that, maybe he's just trying to bank on the safety car.
Medium hard, maybe. I don't know. It seems very interesting.
For me, I reckon it would be a medium. You drag him out for as long as you possibly can, and then try and maybe get a soft. You see Rehard's taking that corner a little bit deep, but because of the nature of a circuit and because it's so tight and technical, Leo would have got such a better run there. But Rehard's knows where he's able to push the car. He knows where he's able to slide it all through. Fantastic stuff there from Rehard's just to be able to defend the track position. As I've just noticed a little message in the chat. It made my heart flutter. Hello, Adam, and welcome to a bit of PSGL F3. I miss you too, mate. But we do have some fantastic racing going on here, don't we, Alex?
Yep, it's bubbling up.
It's chess.
It's bubbling up right now. It's a game of chess.
It's like chess boxing, but we've
Yes.
not got to the boxing part yet.
Have you seen the chess they play in Star Trek?
No.
It's 3D chess.
Is it like with?
Sorry,
Time
four-dimensional chess. It's no, you place it on like a thing above. Now Leo's gone to the fourth dimension there as he's missed the corner. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, and Leo's, since he's made that mistake as well, Rehard's been able to really catch up to the back of Wilson as well. So perhaps the mediums are starting to go off as well.
Only 8 laps in.
Oh, okay. We got some comments in the chat saying it's gonna rain.
It's gonna rain.
Are we sure? Are we sure that's gonna be the call?
Hang on, I'll just stick my hand out the window.
Christian, I need your confirmation in chat. Are you confident in that statement? As we see Rehard's making a move on Wilson.
He's confident in that.
It was a very confident move, trying to get a little swing to the side there, especially on low ERS as well. There could have been an ample opportunity for Wilson to try and bite it back, but Wilson just running his own race at this minute in
If
time.
it's going to rain, why did Camille start on softs? Unless he thought the rain was going to come early, and then he was going to pit after making up a lot of positions.
For the heck of it, why not? Soft tyres, bit of fun.
I agree. I'm not against the soft tyres at all. Don't trust me. I'm the last person against the soft tyres. But I mean, it's tricky. It's a very tricky situation. If it is going to rain, then I don't know if that's true. That may have just been false. That may have been damn lies we've been told. But it is Singapore, and it does tend to rain.
We've got a vouch from Richie, saying Christian's part of the Loche Academy. It's probably valid. So,
well,
if this is going to be the case, I feel like, if you get
Leo's in the pits.
If you're going to need to go
Leo's
and
in the
refill your
pits.
drink at all, absolutely go for it. Leo in the pits. Perhaps he's really not
Go on the
happy.
inters.
Oh no, we're not having an inter.
that would have been one hell of a play.
It would have been something. I'll
That's
give
the
it that
power
much.
play right there.
But at the minute, Lillian being able to hold up pace there.
Safety car.
Yeah. That was Sixton as well on the hard
He's
compound
put it.
tyre.
He's bridged it.
Yeah, just before the bridge, I feel like he might have clipped the inside wall back.
Oh, and Leo's
turning
just
in.
pitted as well. Oh no.
It doesn't look like I'm eating coffee today. Hurrah, chat, let's go. But
Well, if it rains, mate, anything's possible.
very true, very true. But this now puts, these reserve drivers who aren't necessarily used to this sort of racing that we see here in F3, with Reese, JSD, and Kai, it puts them in a bit of an awkward position.
If it's going to rain, and if it's going to rain
Stay out,
soon,
surely.
well, either you stay out, or you make the ultimate risk, and you pit onto the inters.
No.
Because this safety car is going to be out maximum 3 laps. It's going to be out all 3 laps because the pack is so spread out. This track is so slow under a safety car, and I mean super slow.
Was that Reese Linton's just backing up for one Red Bull into another? Was that a cheeky little tag
Please.
from the Vroom driver?
Please go on Inters. It will make my day. Do it.
Okay. Should be raining the last couple of laps of a race because it's custom weather, and normally whatever custom weather says is true.
So it's not going to rain now, so they're going to go on dries.
Yes. No inters, as we thankfully don't have any unsafe releases, otherwise we would have had an Aston Martin merging with a Haas car to form a Haas Martin.
Is that going to... This pit stop's going to cost Kai, isn't it? It's going to push him down.
Yes, absolutely.
Behind Tony Richet and Dimas.
Very unfortunate.
But just in front of the Williams.
Yeah, it's unfortunate having to double stack the Williams team though.
They managed to get both out.
Yeah, both
Congratulations.
of them hopping out next to each other. Fair play indeed. But of course we do have the rest of the field all pitting onto what presumably be a set of medium tyres. Apart from one very lone Ferrari here, Camille,
who is still on the mediums, was praying that something like this might happen, but it probably happened at the wrong time for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's one of those things, you got to take it on the chin and keep rolling with it. You can't let it try and affect your mental. But we have had an interesting comment in the chat saying it's a reason why safety cars should be disabled. I'm interested to know what everyone's thoughts on that are. Do you feel like league racing would be better with or without the safety cars? Because for me personally, I feel like we've had some of the most interesting moments with the safety cars.
I think so. I think they should be enabled because it's then you're at the point saying, why don't we just disable safety cars for Formula One?
I mean,
in general,
for an entertainment point of view, for you know league racing, it's fantastic. But for the the competitive aspect as well, it can certainly put a damper on it because if you're Kai here and you've been thoroughly screwed over by a pit stop, you're gonna absolutely hate it. But on the offhand as well, if you're Oscar Camper, Timo Zelenkovic, Yane, Bogdan, you're so grateful that safety cars are back in the window. It's not like IndyCar where, if you end up falling a bit behind the pack, you might as well just retire because you can't unlock yourself.
I think safety cars should be allowed in sim racing. I know it's annoying for drivers because they like to just have a simple, clean race, but motorsport isn't simple and clean. Stuff happens, and it occasionally goes wrong.
No, it's quite often filled with petrol and very greasy.
Exactly. And also, when has a safety car ever led to a controversial moment in Formula... Wait, hang on.
Wait. Well, okay, when has a safety car ever led to another... actually.
When has a safety car ever led to someone winning a world...
Well, for the first time, we can see an Aston Martin 1-2, I suppose.
That's true. That's true. Now, Josh.
Yes.
We obviously kept the 100% safety car record at Singapore.
Absolutely.
We got a safety car.
Traditions.
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 Yep. Traditions. The only thing he's good at.
Drinking coffee.
He can't defend, so.
That is harsh.
What?
In his prime, in Matt Williams.
Fight me.
Mate, he was a demon.
Really?
Yes.
So when he defended,
you saw the move he did on Kimi Raikkonen at Sochi.
You saw the defense. You saw the defense he did against Max Verstappen and Toro Rosso at Monaco.
No, I didn't.
Kimi lapped him, and Valtteri saw Max's back, and I thought, I might as well just let him pass as well.
I didn't see any defense. I'm not sure what you mean. But yeah, what was your point before we went on to Bottas?
Sorry, my point was that the safety car is going to spice up this race now. We've got every driver close together. Obviously, the leaders pulled away. The mid-pack was fighting each other, and we had a lower pack as well due to the incident at the start of the race. Everyone is back together. A lower pack. Everyone is... I went to private school. You wouldn't know.
I don't know what lower pack is, mate. I just got.
Everyone is close together. 19 drivers. Safety cars lead to safety cars. Something's going to happen to turn one, and everything is going to go fine. And the Ferraris will win. For once in my life, I want Ferrari to win because I want Josh to eat coffee. It's going to happen. If you guys want to eat, if you want to see Josh eat coffee, say Josh should eat coffee for charity right now on stream.
How does that one work out, mate? But we do have a safety car.
Because I said it's for charity,
okay,
and if people don't say yes to it, then they're being rude to charity.
Behave yourself, Alex. But it'll be Reese leading away the field with the reserve driver following him with JSD. And then we've got the full-time drivers, the Lillian and Tony Richet behind. Now, have they done the research? Do they know how this field likes to behave?
Gone.
Because he's gone awfully early there.
He's gone insanely early. Tony Richet has been completely caught out by it, and I think everyone has. And we are back under racing speed. And are we going to race down into turn one? No, no one making any moves into turn one. Everyone's sticking with their driver in front. It's 2x2x2 at the moment. But a lot of drivers caught out by that. TMS Lokish was caught out by it so much, he's actually dropped out of DRS already from the back of this pack. Everyone else within DRS, apart from Wilson Hall, who is also there, he's now second back behind Rahad's. But no one making any exciting dive bombs into turn one. Lillian right up behind the back of the Red Bull, the reserve Red Bull driver, he's doing a fantastic job, I must say.
Yeah, I will say both these Red Bull drivers, and of course Reece Linton as well, doing a fantastic job filling in here for F3. But do have to feel a little bit for Kai as well. You know, safety car, double stacking, kind of, it must feel a little bit screwed as well. And then you had the likes of Dimas, who probably prepared for a very slow race restart like we've seen around previous tracks here in F3. Kind of got caught a little bit off guard, so now he's just kind of stuck there behind Dimas until he either decides to deploy a little bit of his battery, or until that DRS opens up. So he could potentially be waiting there for maybe 1 or 2 laps, which could lose him a bit of time overall.
Yes, exactly. And we're going to be seeing the race continue with, it's currently only lap 13. And we've got people making moves. Leo Lund making a move, obviously Van Campos, Ivan making a move, Zelenkovic making moves. It's all going crazy here at Singapore. And Mr. Camille is up into 12th place. He's only got to gain 11 more places. And Josh will be drinking coffee or eating at the end of the show. As Lefted really defending Mr. Bogdan. Great defense in the final corner, but Bogdan does get past him into what is 18th place, as Lefted is right at the back of the grid now. He's on those hard tyres. He's struggling.
He's really, really struggling on that compound. It looks twitchy. It doesn't look comfortable. It doesn't look controllable. And you can see how much he's already fell off the back. Surely he must have some sort of hardware or technical problem with his car, because he's rapidly falling off the back of a pace here.
Yeah, that's not right. That's not just the tyre shouldn't be doing that. That's not right. That's so not right. Michael.
Well, Michael's not here to save him.
It was the anniversary of that yesterday. The day Formula One changed forever. Are we moving on?
No, we're not. We're on board with Kai Pearson, still stuck behind Alexander Dimas. When Dimas, when the DRS opens, Dimas will be vulnerable. But until then,
he's got to send it.
He's just going to have to run his own race. 8 tenths off the back of Tony Richet. Tony Richet is 8 tenths off the back of Lillian. And for Kai here, potentially race-winning pace. We saw it in the first stint. Was able to hang on to the back, put a little bit of pressure on the front three. Now finds himself in, a desolate wasteland here.
Yeah, he needs to really try and get past the car in front. DRS is enabled. He has got the opportunity to pass the AlphaTauri, especially if Mr. Dimas drops out of DRS range of Tony Richet, who once again is running a tremendous race here in PSGL. We always said he's got pace. He will pick up that win this season at some point, I reckon.
Yes, maybe it'll just take a little winter break recalibration. Some good old Valtteri Bottas used to, but hopefully with some more impressive results coming for the future for him. But I feel like we should say as well, we're not the only great race happening here tonight as well. We should have the other beautiful streams live now. So we've got the entire PSGL family doing some beautiful races around Singapore. We'll have the F2 stream starting, as of 2 minutes ago. So if you feel like watching a couple qualifying laps from some of the very best drivers in the world, feel free to pop over there. If you want to see this fantastic race unfold and kind of understand how it's all going to come to effect and come into play, feel free to stand here and listen to me and Alex ramble for a little bit longer.
Yeah, there's nothing better in this world than me and Josh rambling about racing. But at the moment, it's again, we're back to bubbling. We're back in the bubbling mode. These drivers aren't going to make any crazy moves. As much as we'd love to see it, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's just about staying resilient, understanding your position in the race, and picking the best opportunities for you as a driver. Not worrying about the car behind you, not worrying about the car in front. As this could be a fantastic opportunity for Kai Pearson to size up a move going down the DRS straight. He's nice and close to the rear here of Alexander Dimas. Dimas won't have the DRS. You see the ERS light flashing, and you can see on Kai's wheel, he has an abundance of ERS in the tank. He'll be looking to deploy back coming down his main straight to get this overtake sorted. To catch back up to Tony Richet, and use the DRS spare to try and get him further forward. But it doesn't look like he's going to be the only one trying that, as Jack Humphries as well is directly behind. Jack will be trying to follow him through. Very, very close, going side by side. Jack gets forced off the track there. Very aggressive driving from Dimas, but Jack retains the position despite going off track. Now, I don't want to sound a little bit too much like Martin Brundle, but I feel like he should give that one back.
Yeah, Martin. Oh, I think he did. And goodness, no! Don't do 3 wide. That's not going to end well. It's going to end in tears. Oh, it hasn't. Oh, but up the inside goes for hard. Then out wheel to wheel, going across the bridge.
I know you want to say it.
Across the bridge like Felipe Massa got past someone a few years ago.
Someone.
Who was it?
Mate, beats me.
All right, someone fact check
Petrov?
that. No, it wasn't Petrov.
What year was it?
Bruno Senna.
That'd be the one.
Just shouting out Bruno Senna. Didn't think I'd be doing that this evening.
Well, you never know. But I'm sure Rehards wasn't planning to potentially get a 3 wide moment going over the bridge, but
Brilliant.
he's ticked that one off the bucket list, and he's came away unscathed as well, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, exactly. That was fantastic racing. That's the wheel to wheel racing we wish we could see every week in modern Formula 1, but also in PSGL. But we get it every week in PSGL at F3. You can tune in every Thursday with myself and Josh, and we are at Singapore. We're on lap 17 of 31, and right now Lillian, I think, has decided they might begin to start pushing here for more places, possibly taking the race lead.
Yeah, mate, don't
as
forget to breathe
Rahazos making the move. Sorry, I'm trying to not. If I breathe too much, I get coughing, and then I don't want to cough.
The solution to that is not by breathing at all.
I won't from this point
Regulate
onwards.
your breaths, mate, please. As I believe I could see a little bit of rain starting to fall.
Really? Oh my god, it is raining.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is. Absolutely is. So, you know,
Please, one of the Ferraris, take the risk. Pit.
perhaps-
Come out in the lead. Do it.
Perhaps Christian's calculation might have been a little bit wrong. Not
The safety car would have
necessarily
extended that.
towards the end of the race.
Mm.
There would have still been 10 laps left of, potential intermediate running, but we know what the rain's like in this game. It can go from bone dry to really, really wet in a matter of laps, and Lillian...
Oh,
doing a
Lillian
little
thought
dummy
about
there,
it.
Thought about it. Tony Roche, Kaya Pearson, all staying out. We're gonna
Someone's
going
got
to
to take the risk.
on that track map, just keeping an eye out. Paying attention, seeing if any of the drivers pit. Is it going to be Camille? Will Leo take a risk? Doesn't look
No,
like it.
no one's taking the risk. If I was lefted, I'd take the risk. And he is.
Alex, we're going to have to talk about you and Lefted. Why are you the same person?
Lefted has to take the risk here. He was struggling so much on those hards. There's only one thing to do here. Slap on a set of inters and pray for the best.
Full wets at this point. YOLO.
YOLO. No, he's going into. This is into weather now. Look at the rain. We go to one of the drivers on track. I bet you we're looking at a slightly wetter circuit, and these drivers are going to be really struggling in the next few minutes.
It certainly looks a little bit greasier, but it doesn't necessarily look wet, and the drivers are still being able to keep control of the cars. Telltale sign with the bridge here. They already really struggled to try and get the traction out coming from this hairpin, so it'll be interesting to kind of see how we're going to be able to do it. It looks, to be quite honest with you, it looks bone dry.
It looks bone dry at the moment. We know how quickly stuff can change.
It's a matter of time. Change is inevitable, as a wise man once said.
But also, a wise man once said, "War never changes." So,
A wise man also said Ferrari's the greatest team in Formula 1 history.
yeah, who said that?
Me.
Well, can one of them win? That's the question we want to know the answer to. Anyone going to take the risk?
No.
The top three stay out. They won't risk it. They will not be the first ones to pit.
Kai's in. I don't blame Kai at all. He knew.
No, Kai going for it.
Could potentially be a bit dire as he slides sideways into a pit lane, and I do believe Jack Humphries has followed him in there as well.
Yep, this is it. This is the time to gamble if you're going to go for it. And the Red Bull is in. No Ferrari in. They are staying out. Oh no, they got Ferrari's strategy team on board as well.
You never know.
You got to split your strategies at this point. Split your strategies. One of them has to work out. This is the thing.
Well, I'll tell you something. It'll be very, very, important to see.
Rain's getting heavier.
How those inters holding up, because you can see the mediums slowly starting to slide. We see JSA not really hitting the apex of a lot of those corners, and the car kind of pushing itself sideways and, you know, almost sliding through the corners rather than getting a full allocated amount of grip from those medium tyres. And it wouldn't surprise me if these lot are just going to try and wait it out and see if a safety car will come around from drivers making mistakes. As you can see, JSA really pushing that Red Bull to the utmost extremities of its potential, sliding the car all the way through, but that's going to give Lillian a brilliant opportunity to try and make a move there. But it's too greasy off the racing line. It's not on the cards for Lillian at the minute. Lillian surely will be thinking about going into the pits, as we've got an error message. That's not great.
That's
something.
That's interesting. Is that a Josh error message? Because I saw Kai also disconnect. Hang on, we're just.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Hang on, ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Technical difficulties.
I will quickly check Discord to see what's happened.
Carlson said it. Steam servers are down.
Steam servers are down. Just as the race was picking up.
It's unfortunate, isn't it?
The Steam servers have gone down.
So.
Well, what can we say?
Now.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we got it.
We got him.
So, I feel like the only solution we can do here is to sit back and enjoy the beauty of a GTO Mega Chair while we try and find out what's happening.
Hey,
here.
Josh, do you know what happens? You know the best way to not make your Steam servers crash?
Well, go on. What's the best way to not make your Steam servers crash?
It's to make sure your technicians have a GTO Mega Gaming Chair.
I don't think it is, because I think the GTO Mega Gaming Chair is too comfy, and if they sit in it for long enough, they'll fall asleep, and your F1 server will go down.
What the?
What's happening, Alex?
We were just discussing how they're going to start the race again.
Look, there's some comments suggesting we do a 25% race with the grid before everyone started pitting for intermediate tyres.
Yeah, but I think you've got to start it on wets on inters now.
Yes.
In my opinion, I think we've got to start on inters and just start what the grid was on inters. It's a shame for some drivers that were trying to go for the undercut, but you know, unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I didn't even have any cookies left. I ate all my shortbread, so you know,
It's a good job I've got a lot of coffee to spare in case you get hungry, then, isn't it, Alex?
Yes, I think we should actually start the Ferraris on the front row, and then give them a 3-lap head start, and then do that way.
No.
No?
Disagree on that one.
Okay.
You know, my gut and my stomach says that maybe eating pure coffee isn't a great idea, so I shouldn't encourage it. But if
what have you got tomorrow? It's a Friday.
Yeah, I've got a Friday, and I've got a stream elsewhere from PSGL. I'm not going to disclose company's name, but there's a few drivers from this grid who also partake in that race as well. So it's a good little fun social event.
Yes.
A wink.
Wink.
A wink. But yeah.
Wink.
No. Currently just waiting on the Steam menu here, just trying to find what's going on.
Yeah, we are. There is also talk, possibly, of maybe only giving half points and calling the race there, which would be a shame.
Yes, it would be, because it was really spicing up.
It was literally about to get spicy meatballs.
As much as I hate Singapore, adding a little bit of rain to any circuit will make it a good one, in my opinion.
Yeah, like when have you actually seen a boring wet race? I'm trying to think in my head.
Only time I can think of a boring wet race would have been over at the sim grid when I used to do GT3 racing.
Yeah. What about in real life?
In real life?
Turkey? One of the turkeys in recent memory?
No, because they always had some very bold moves going. up and down the field. The one which immediately jumps out to me is 96 Monaco, because there was so much crashing. It wasn't a race, and every time I try to watch it back, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but it's not racing.
No, it's not racing. What about no, the Monacos? We had some Monacos recently that were very good. That were wet. Like we had 22, which was wet, and 23 was also wet. Yeah, 23 was wet because of
a slight bit, yeah.
Yeah, because everyone thought Fernando Alonso was going to win the race, but Aston Martin pitted him onto the wrong thing.
I feel like you can blame Aston for that.
No, I don't blame Aston for that.
But you can't blame your golden child, can you, Alex?
Can't blame Fernando Alonso. No, he is the god of motorsport.
I know, he's got eyebrows to rival.
See, look. Yeah, I know. This is me and Fernando are brothers.
Yeah.
The Lord of the Eyebrows.
I can tell both of you get up to devious activities such as Spygate and Crashgate as well.
Yep, and other Fernando Alonso activities.
Such as
I'm also a multiple-time Formula 1 world champion. Yep. Still didn't win with Ferrari though.
Having the discussion, I do have a Discord page open on my monitor, giving it a quick read through. They're currently discussing with Big Boss Man himself about when it all went down. So, they're not past the 75% of the race.
Which means
half points can't be allocated.
Half points can't be allocated.
So, it looks like we will be getting a 25% race.
In wet?
The potential of intermediate tyres. Not confirming it yet, but that's sort of the direction I think they're going for.
That's what I hope we get.
Yes, I feel like, although it will be, you know, a bit of a sting in the teeth for those who try to get an undercut, you know, potentially, when was the last time we saw an intermediate start around Singapore?
2017.
Yeah. And we know what happened.
Yeah, Fernando Alonso got taken out in turn 1.
Yeah, we had the one car doing this, and then we had the other car doing that.
And then
they basically kissing each other for a bit.
Yeah, and then for once, the one in the middle, who went by the name of Verstappen Max, wasn't the fault child.
Yeah.
As he often was in crashes back in the day, because that's what happens when you put a 17-year-old in a Formula 1 car.
Yes.
And then tell him he's Jesus.
Right. So,
that's the best way I've ever heard anyone explain Max Verstappen.
So we've had the rulebook being
the rulebook's out.
Yes, we've actually got a working rulebook, unlike the FIA. So we understand what we need to do in certain procedures. So I'm gonna read you out the rulebook, everyone. I've written an academic paper at this point earlier today. I've already had enough of reading, but I'll just for you lot. Lobby collapse, or split lobby, or glitch lobby. Under Rule 19.1, the actions taken in the event of a collapsed, split, or glitched lobby are at the discretion of the tier coordinators, which in this case would be Rehards and Alja. 19.2, if less than 50% of a race has been completed, then a postponement or a full restart can be called. If over 50%, but less than 75% of the race has been completed, the race result can be called and awarded with half points. If over 75% of a race has been completed, the race results can be called with full points. So, we went down on lap 19. Can you guess where the 75% mark is?
Lap 20.
23.
So we're at 50%.
We're past 50%. We're in that intermediate thing. So the race result can be called and awarded with half points.
Is that the likely option now?
I do believe that is it.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, but it will be from the last lap completed. So it won't be as messy as it was. But at that point, you've really got to feel sorry for the drivers who went out for a gamble on intermediate tyres, because before then they would have been in decent positions, and this, you know, Steam servers dying, going down has caused so much, you know, hassle and catastrophe.
Yeah, obviously it's a shame for the drivers. It's a shame for us. Shame for everyone watching as well. That we are now at a point where we have to, end the race like that.
Yes.
That's not how we wanted to end it. We were literally coming up for a very entertaining last half of the race.
Yeah, I do agree with you. It's a shame we can't get 25% race run. Just for the sake of it, not adding to lots of points and just having a beautiful bit of content to round out. But unfortunately, I guess that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. See,
it is.
Bruce Almighty reference again. 2 for 2.
Yep, 2 for 2 now. Let's make it a hat trick. But we'll try. We tried to get everything back the way it is, but unfortunately the rule book is like that. We can't change the rule book, unlike the FIA.
Yes. We're not Michael Massey.
We're not Michael Massey. Yeah, we'd love to have the race restarted. Obviously, we only need one more lap of racing, as was famously said by Toto Wolff.
We keep going.
And then obviously he said, "No, Mikey, no, that's
no, Michael, no, it's so not right.
It's so not right." And then
you have to reinstate the previous lap.
Toto, yes, we went motor racing.
I don't know why the Australian accent's now turned to Austrian. You're on a mad one, Alex. But
I'm very angry that we didn't get the end of that race.
Yeah, but
damn you, Valve.
Unfortunately, this is gonna have to be it for the stream.
That's it. That's literally how we end it.
This is how we end it. We don't even get interviews. Half point is going to be awarded. So make sure in the description you join the Discord to keep up to date with what's happening over here at PSGL in F3.
It's a farce, I say.
It's
a farce.
Everything's going to continue going. But I'll tell you something.
Reinstate lap 53.
Isn't it ironic when we was talking about Fernando Alonso? Another incident happens.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a conspiracy theory, but
did Nelson Piquet Jr. crash into the Steam server?
I don't know, mate. Only time will tell. But without further ado, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching and sticking with us. Although, we had that long wait restarted. We had a brilliant race. It was brewing up to such a great finale. But unfortunately, issues came to play. You know who to blame for that. Not the drivers, not PSGL. Flavio
Briatore.
Yes.
Once again. Get him banned.
No.
Get that ass.
It's unfortunate. But
it is.
On the bright side, I don't have to put with Singapore anymore.
Yep, and we are now obviously on our Christmas break.
Absolutely.
We have a winter break now. Also, just want to let everyone know, I don't know how this is going to affect the other races that are going on in PSGL at the moment. If you want to find out, join the Discord right now. You can join the description. And if you do, I imagine they will get underway at some point. Steam tend to keep their service down for a little while. But we now have our winter break. We'll be back January 4th and 5th.
New me.
Yep, new year, new me. This is the new us. We're going to be on topic all the time. We're not going to make any jokes.
No Flavio Briatore jokes anymore.
No Flavio Briatore jokes. Nothing like that. And we are at Spain, of course, the home of Fernando Alonso.
With the moto setup as well, so it'll be good fun.
A brilliant circuit. And of course, we get to see Spain at the perfect track to race on at Spain, and not the one we'll be racing on in 26.
Yes, but I feel like we should keep our opinions to ourselves until we see the track. But without further ado, I've been Josh. That's been Alex, despite him bullying me about Ferrari for the entire stream.
Oh, you've got to drink your coffee before we go.
They didn't get a podium.
Well, we don't know. The race didn't end. So technically, in a future, in a alternate parallel universe...
Tell you what, I'll make a deal with you right now.
Okay.
If a Ferrari wins for the remainder of the season, I'll take a spoonful of coffee.
Alright, let's shake on it.
Shake.
There we go.
There you go. Shuck. But until then, I've been Josh, that's been Alex, and thank you very much for joining us here for round 7 at PSGL F3. Bye!
Bye-bye!
He's got the inside off, here he's through, on the left hand side, hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the GOAT is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.